What's that you saying? You're still salty over the fact that Kishimoto replaced Madara with Kaguya? Don't worry, because I am too. Welcome everyone, Sanju Uchiha here, and I hope you guys are having an awesome start to your week. It's Monday and start of the work week again, but it is what it is. But yeah, as you can tell, today we're continuing our series, our what if discussion, because it's not a conventional what if. I'm approaching it like a discussion, but you get the point. But yeah, our what if discussion on what if Madara lived into the Boruto era. Well, part 2, and naturally if you haven't seen part 1, I would recommend it. It didn't do too bad by my channel standards last month, so definitely check that out. I'll probably link it as a card up here more than likely. But yo, welcome to the channel. If you're new, we do Boruto content here. It's kind of like the bread and butter, and that butter seems to butter the bread on 5 sides, so yeah. But yeah, welcome back to the channel. I appreciate it if you're tuning in for the first time or if you're a return subscriber. Let's dive into the madness that is Madara Uchiha, one of my favorite characters from the Naruto franchise. Alright, so with a character like Madara Uchiha, we did establish in part 1 how he would actually survive by the end of the 4th Great Ninja War and what his narrative arc would be going into the Boruto era, because we honestly don't want this to be a situation like Sasuke, who's become a living meme in it's just funny when I think about it. But yeah, we don't want a case for Madara to get that kind of treatment that Sasuke has been getting in the Boruto manga and anime right now. So we have to set the foundation right, and we kind of set the what his arc would be in part 1 essentially. But to repeat this for argument's sake, if you don't want to go back to part 1, Madara would be a character going into the Boruto era, taking what Hashirama said to him in the last phases of the 4th Great Ninja War regarding not being hasty regarding his plans and his goals, and just focus on passing things on to the next generation, because you can't do everything yourself essentially. So that will basically form the foundation of what will be Madara's arc, because that's going to form the basis of Madara watching over or helping to cultivate the next generation. Because at the end of the day, mentally at this point, I'm gonna say that Madara would be a character where he'll probably be reasoning to himself that, yo, I tried things my way regarding peace, power, dominance, and that didn't work, and what does he have to lose at this point? Taking Hashirama's words to heart and seeing, similar to how Sasuke took his experience with Naruto, and essentially what he was saying in chapter 699 of the manga, to essentially see if the experiences he has with Naruto is it replicated to a bigger extent to other persons in the world. I can see Madara essentially doing the same with Hashirama's words. Now, the thing is though, and I said it in part 1, I can see during the period of the last into the Boruto era, Madara is either going to be exiled, or he's going to live in exile, or he's going to travel the world similar to Sasuke, using Hashirama's words as a foundation for his journey essentially. But in reality, considering Madara is who he is, being a prime, criminal, one of the prime persons responsible for the 4th Great Ninja War, I don't see the world powers that be just letting him go free like that. Now, I did say he would get a life sentence in part 1, but at the same time, due to the fact that he would end up helping in the last Naruto the movie with the meteors essentially, he would be put into a situation similar to, like, say, Orochimaru, who in the modern day, he hasn't been fully absolved of his crimes. He's still under watch. So I can see Madara being placed into a similar situation. But in this case, if I'm having Madara travel the world, the person who would be Madara's warden is essentially Sasuke, who would basically be keeping tabs on Madara through his own journey, his own redemption journey, and after his redemption journey when he's investigating the Otsutsuki clan. So there's that. Now, with Madara traveling the world, even though we have Hashirama's words as, I would say, the foundation or whatever the case may be, we also have to take into consideration that Madara would more than likely learn the truth about the Otsutsuki clan and everything that's gone on with Kaguya, Naruto and Sasuke's power-ups, the stage of 6 paths, the fact that he was used, the fact that the stone tablet was changed. All these things I feel would be revealed to Madara over the course of his exile or his journey, with Sasuke probably keeping tabs on him and just bumping into him, all the works. So on top of his narrative goal of passing things on to the next generation, trying things Hashirama's way, he now will be an asset to Sasuke's investigation into the Otsutsuki clan, as well as being, I wouldn't want to say straight up revenge, but I can see Madara being a bit bitter by being used by the Otsutsuki clan for all intents and purposes. That and the fact that I established in part 1 that the Gedo Mazo is essentially Madara's life source at this point. He essentially in some shape or form has Kaguya within him, so it kind of in some way would make him a target for the Otsutsuki clan in a sense. So that way we have some other additional layers on top of his whole narrative goal of honoring what Hashirama would want to do by wanting to essentially the Otsutsuki would get in the way of essentially him honoring what Hashirama would want to do, because they would want to destroy the planet essentially. So it ties back in. He wants to follow Hashirama's ways in a sense, try his way. Of course, he has the Gedo Mazo as a life source, being a target for the Otsutsuki clan, but also wants revenge on the Otsutsuki clan and would assist Sasuke more than lightly in his investigations once Sasuke's redemption phase of his journey is over. So, and that would actually double as him helping Sasuke while Sasuke keeping tabs on him, and that would also appease the powers that be in the world. So, in essence, Madara actually lives out most of the last era up until the Boruto era, helping and assisting Sasuke, kind of wiping his slate clean and putting himself into a similar situation like an Orochimaru, who's always on the watch essentially. So, as I said in the previous part, the assistant Shadow Kage for the most part. Now, it could go either way in terms of Madara, passing things on to the next generation. He could eventually get a family, or probably he wallows in self, I wouldn't say self-hatred, but trying to redeem himself, he decides that I'm gonna just, after coming back to the village, he's gonna exile, and then eventually takes the role of helping raising up Sarada, the next generation of Uchiha, and just essentially Boruto's generation, as like the ghosts of the Uchiha that they they visit every now and then. I wouldn't mind seeing some comedy in being introduced, some comedy storylines and being introduced with Madara's character. Not to like I guess throw mud on his name and his character like they throw mud on Sasuke's character, but little things like that to kind of bring out that side of him that wasn't given the chance to, that he kind of turned away from by deserting the village all those decades ago essentially. So yeah, so there's that. Now, one thing I will say that I want to talk about, which is essential for this what if, is what will Madara's role be? How will he level up power wise? Because that's one thing I really wanted to talk about with this what if discussion. And when I think about it, Madara has a nice path to rising to power. Granted, yes, Naruto and Sasuke are that much more powerful than him right now, especially since he's not the 10-tailed Jinchuriki. But think of it like this. One, him coming back to life means he's now much more powerful than how he was as a Edo Tensei in the war. He has the Rinnegan, at least in this what if, because I don't know if you want to take the fact that his eyes look kind of messed up after the whole extraction by the 6th Jubaku Tensei. But yeah, he has a Rinnegan in this. He's stronger since he's living now, more stronger than his Edo Tensei self, and he does have access to siege mode via his Hashirama cells. So, as well as he now has the Gedo Mazo as a life source. So, in exploiting all of that and taking into consideration that Madara is a character that, trains, it's ingrained in his character. He trains and he works towards getting stronger. And the fact that, Naruto and Sasuke are way stronger than him now, in conjunction with the fact that he's, despite that he's trying things Hashirama's way, I still see him, still kind of clinging on to his whole ideal, or coming to like a middle ground where by saying that, yeah, to pass on things to the next generation, there's still a level of power that I need to, keep things in order before I can pass things to the next generation, essentially. So I see him coming to like a middle ground between his ideals and Hashirama's ideals, and also taking the knowledge of the whole reincarnation cycle. He might look at the dynamic between Sasuke and Naruto as an example in terms of how he must go about things, but at the same time still cling to his, essentially he's going to want to basically level himself up. And with all those things I listed between Sage Mode, Gedomazo, Fat is alive, and he has Rinnegan, I can see him experimenting, training, and getting ridiculously powerful. But just how powerful would you say he would get by the time the events of the Boruto Naruto the movie events? Because I'm not going through all the anime arcs and all of that. If Madara trains consistently, given all those, things in his arsenal, then honestly, in terms of how strong he would get, honestly, I actually do see him being on par with Naruto and Sasuke by the time of the events of the Momoshiki arc, essentially. Because being out there with Sasuke, I can see him even training with Sasuke, and with the Gedomazo as like a power/life source, I can even see Madara like experimenting with it, because he would be like a special form of Jinchuriki. Essentially, he still kind of houses Kaguya, so I think there might be a way he might experiment with like kind of slowly tapping into Kaguya's power by, well, I was gonna say maybe he would, try to collect some Tail Beast chakra here and there, but I doubt it. I think he'll find a way to, bring out something more out of the Gedomazo. Maybe that might be a stretch, but I think by the time of the Momoshiki arc, he'll probably be on par with Naruto and Sasuke. Like, for example, if I always say like Fuse Momoshiki is around like 60 to 70% of Naruto and Sasuke's full power at that point in time. So I could actually see Madara being on that same level by the time, those events come around. So that would be cool to see, if I'm not going to lie. I'm not gonna lie, it would be cool to see. So yeah. So going into the Momoshiki arc, the Chunin exams, I can see Madara coming back from a long, mission with Sasuke. See him fighting along with Sasuke against Kinshiki. A lot of these fights would go drastically different, because with Madara there with Sasuke, I can see them like potentially overpowering Kinshiki, but they would probably still retreat to get the information back to Konoha. But especially with the Chunin exams coming up, I would want to see Madara actually like overseeing, like just viewing the Chunin exams, see what the new generation has to offer. Now, in growing up, at least during the events of the Shin, I know I'm all over the place, I know, but during the events of the Shin Uchiha arc, I could even see, Sarada investigating, learning more information about Madara, maybe, because I don't think it's ever been revealed that she actually knows anything about Madara, right? Because a lot of the information that's in the Konoha library regarding the Uchiha clan is classified, so she probably might not know. But I could actually see Madara helping out with the Shin Uchiha situation regarding the, because these are persons claiming to be Uchiha. I can see him helping out with that, as well as the Momoshiki arc, as I said, because coming back to the village, overseeing the Chunin exams, well, at least, viewing it for the new generation's sake, because that's a big part of his character now. Alright, hold on, sorry about that, people. Alright, so I know I'm all over the place, so I'm gonna just get some method to the madness here. So taking this like one arc at a time, Shin Uchiha first, right? Honestly, with Madara in the equation, a lot of these conflicts go like drastically different. They may probably get like drastically easier, because the thing is, I've set things up with Sasuke being Madara's ward, in quote unquote, similar to like how Yamato watches over Orochimaru these days. And in the Shin Uchiha arc, that first Shin Uchiha that shows up, honestly probably dies. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. But the thing is, I feel like over these 15 years, given how the Shin Uchiha arc went, I can see Madara kind of playing along to kind of just get to figure out and, find out what these Shin Uchiha clones are up to. So I think the arc for the most part kind of goes the same way like it did before. Maybe, Naruto and Sasuke still get that whole appearance that like if they're nerfed and their poor performance and whatever the case may be. But I think Shin Uchiha lives an extremely shorter life in comparison. But with Naruto calling the reins, like, because Naruto is essentially reigning in the Uchihas here, like Sasuke and Madara. So I do see some more characters potentially dying, but I think Madara at this point is kind of like at the middle ground between how he would operate before and how he operates now, especially since his mindset. I think basically he would mellow out just a bit compared to before, is what I'm saying. The whole meat of the matter comes in the Momoshiki arc, where I think he will attend transformation wise, so nobody knows he's there, knows it's him apart from like Sasuke and Naruto, to kind of see what the new generation has to offer. But the whole heat of the matter comes when Momoshiki comes, because of course Madara more than likely now becomes a target apart from Naruto, because you know, Madara now, based on how the Boruto manga has set up this new lore with the Otsutsuki, Madara has the whole seed for a god tree essentially, so he now becomes a target. Now I feel honestly it's nothing complex really and truly. There's no long-winded explanation for how this is going to go, but I feel when Momoshiki attacks the village, he probably captures Naruto just like in the main story, but Madara is captured as well. The only difference is that in this version of the story, I propose that in the dimension that the final fight took place, Madara manages to actually free Naruto essentially, and the two of them go up against Kinshiki and Momoshiki until Sasuke comes to actually rescue them with the other Kage. But at this point now, it becomes a much easier watch, because if I'm putting Madara at like 70%, like basically fuse Momoshiki level, then it becomes that much easier to clear out Momoshiki before even Katasuke comes into the picture. Now, the thing is now, this potentially changes things for, you know, who gets the karma seal. Now, I could play devil's advocate and say, you know, let's kind of fall back on this. Madara wants to see the new generation get a shine. Probably Sasuke convinces Madara, say, let's let Boruto do this. Especially since, based on what I hear Naruto explain, say in his videos, based on the novelization of the movie, Naruto actually wanted Boruto to finish him. So maybe they can convince him, like, yo, Madara, yo, my son finish it, you see me? So it could be a case like that, and he still gets the karma more than likely. But honestly, it's a much easier fight for Team Konoha, because Momoshiki is extremely, fused or not, well, fused, whatever the case may be, it's easier for when Naruto, Sasuke, and Madara triple run him. Brother, it done. It done. We could still have Katasuke coming in probably at the last minute when Momoshiki is on his dying breath, probably is in much worse shape compared to, you know, after Naruto and Sasuke pull the, you know, majestic attire. Probably we might even get out like a super majestic attire, like two perfect Susanoo fun. Yo, that was just ridiculous, dog, honestly. So yeah, but for the sake of the story, I'm potentially doing a part 3. I still say Boruto gets like a karma seal for the most part. He's still the one that finishes off Momoshiki with assistance from Sasuke and Madara and Naruto essentially. But yeah, but anyway, this video has been going on for a while. I know I was all over the place, but if you made it this far, respect. Again, it's a what if discussion, so I would love to hear your thoughts on how I've kind of outlined everything regarding Madara and how he would actually fit in to the Boruto era here. So yeah, given that he has I think a decent setup for his potential interactions and motivations to go over the Otsutsuki clan and prevent them from, you know, stopping him from, you know, see firsthand what Hashirama wanted him to do. I think we have a decent setup going into, you know, the conflicts with Kara and beyond. So I guess depending on what you guys think about this, I might talk about at part 3, which might be the final part. So let me know if you guys really want that. But hope you guys are having a great Monday. This should be going up early. I'm gonna just stay up and just get this done. So yeah, but Sanjay Uchiha, guys, respect for tuning in. Like, someone kill me. Rate, comment, subscribe, people. I'll see you in the next Boruto video. Yeah. See ya.